Good morning, DXN. Welcome to DXN, the world's largest Ganoderma producer. Started its journey in Jitra, a small town in Kadam, Malaysia in 1993.
Yeah. So for our topic for today, very timely po sa situation natin yan sa mundo, ating vaccines. So they say na the World Immunization Week, so celebrated in the last week of April, which is this week, aims to highlight the collective action needed and to promote the use of vaccines. It could protect people of all ages against diseases. So very effective po itong mga vaccines natin to help our body fight off or labanan po yung mga diseases na pwedeng makita agad ng ating katawan through the use of vaccines. Mamaya, later po, we'll try to explain how it works o paano po nag-work yung ating mga vaccines. So, the WHO, World Health Organizations, works with countries across the globe to raise awareness of the value of vaccines. So ito na to, World Health Organization na po yung promote. So we need to check on this kasi there are experts who are trying to study or they are really working on vaccines to help the health of many people in the world. And immunization and ensures that governments obtain the necessary guidance and technical support to implement high-quality immunization programs. What is immunization po? So immunization is the process whereby an individual is made immune or resistant to an infectious disease, typically by the administration of a vaccine. So the vaccines po, as we going to explain later, there are certain parts or weakened viruses or bacteria that are introduced or binibigay sa katawan ng tao. Kasi ang katawan po ng tao, they can build up immune responses or immune defenses na will help to fight off these diseases. So, yung vaccines nito will stimulate the body own immune system to protect the person against subsequent infection or disease. Some of these diseases are deadly, so with the help of vaccines, so it can easily be prevented. So it is done through various techniques called yung vaccination, yung pagbigay ng ating mga vaccines sa katawan through injection or through oral. So what is vaccination? Vaccination is the administration of a vaccine to help the immune system. So, ulit-ulit po na it will help the immune system to grow or to develop antibodies na sinasabi, explain po natin later, na it will fight off or madali pong makikilala ng katawan po natin kung pumasok po yung certain diseases or certain viruses, bacteria, and it will develop protection from that disease. So, facts of immunization, there's more than 1 billion children vaccinated over the last decade. Currently, most children receive a life-saving vaccine. So, we have a lot of deadly diseases. Pero with the help of vaccines, marami pong natutulungan ito. There are some anecdotes or stories na masama daw po yung vaccine, pero hindi po natin mapuprove talaga na dahil po ito sa vaccine. So acceptance of new and underused vaccine is growing. Then immunization at this time inhibits 2 to 3 million deaths every year. So prior po nung earlier times nung wala pong vaccine, there are certain diseases na hindi po natin kayang gamutin. So may time po before yung flu, dati po deadly po yan. Ngayon, ano na lang siya, parang usual na lang. Because nag-develop na po yung bodies natin to fight off the disease. Pero with the help of vaccine, kahit na ma-introduce sa iyo yung virus o yung bacteria, mabilis mo na siyang malalabanan. So an estimated of 19.7 million under the age of 1 year did not get basic vaccines. Yun lang, may mga certain facts natin. So how does immunization work? Immunization makes your immune system stronger. So it helps your body to quickly fight against bacteria and viruses. So the body easily recognize o madali niya makilala yung virus. So, sa pagpasok niya pa lang ng cell, kilala na siya, pwede na siyang malabanan agad. So, vaccination is the active form of immunization. Next slide, please. So, recommended immunizations for children 0 to 6. So, discuss lang natin itong mga certain kinds of diseases or viruses or bacteria. So, our influenza, it is a respiratory illness caused by a virus. And usually, makita mo to sa ating mga respiratory tract, sa ating nose, sa throat, sa ating lungs. So, sa nose, may infect yung influenza, doon siya pumapasok. So, with vaccine, it can help na hindi na siya infect yung tao. Next one is measles, is also caused by a virus. So, the symptoms is lagnat, fever, coryza, or yung pagsisipon, cough, sobrang pagkakaubo, at saka conjunctivitis, yung pamumula ng mata. And we can see na meron siyang mga rashes due to measles. Usually, nagsistart po siya sa scalp, pababa. And nagde-develop to usually after 14 days from infection. So, may incubation time pa po siya. So, the transmission is through the inhalation of the virus. So, kung meron pong infected, umubo, or nasa air pa po yung virus, pag nalanghap, may possibility po na ma-infect po yung person. So, mumps naman po is yung tinatawag na beke. So, it is contagious din po, madaling makahawa. It is caused by a virus. Then, you can see na nagsiswell po yung mga salivary glands, yung namamaga po yung mga panga kasi may salivary glands po dyan. So, ang infection po nito is through droplets, yung mga sa pag-ubo din po o sa plema, pag nakuha ng ibang tao, nahahawa po sila. Next one is rubella po. It affects the skin and lymph nodes, and it is very dangerous po sa pregnant women kasi it can cause congenital anomaly sa baby. Hindi po nagde-develop minsan yung kamay pa or magkakaroon po ng kakaibang growth. Usually ang cause ito, ang nagiging effect po nito sa baby is deafness. So the transmission is through direct contact from other person. Next one po is hepatitis A. It is usually the inflammation of the liver, yung ating atay. So, paano po ito nakukuha? So, from poor or dirty water or contaminated food or through fecal-oral or sa ating dumi na nakakain po natin, hindi po masyadong maayos yung pagkakalinis or yung nag-prepare po ng food, hindi po nagugas ng kamay after going to the CR. So, yun po. Or through blood. So, ito po, usually yung mga diseases ito nawawala naman po. Pero we need to support po yung mga symptoms po ng patient. Next one po is meningococcal. It's caused by a bacteria, Neisseria meningitis. It usually affects the brain o yung kung mga nakabalot sa brain po natin, sila po ay tumitigas or na-infect. Kaya po minsan masakit po gumalaw pag ginagalaw yung ulo. Usually po ang na-affect po nito yung mga high-risk patients, yung mga mababa yung immune system. So the transmission is through droplets and secretions. Next one is hepatitis B. It is also just like the hepatitis A. It causes liver disease. Pero pag po prolong po masyado yung disease na to, it can also lead to liver cancer. So the transmission po is through contaminated syringes o yung mga injection na ginamit sa iba at natusok sa'yo, and through sexual contact, yung mga exchange po ng bodily fluids, and also sa mother to baby habang buntis ko. And usually the symptoms or the signs na meron kang liver disease if ever naninilaw ka, nag-yellow yung skin mo. Next one is rotavirus, and it caused by a virus. So there's the severe watery diarrhea, vomiting, then fever, abdominal pains in infants and children. So the transmission po nito is through fecal-oral route. Next one po is diphtheria. It's caused by a bacteria, Corina bacterium diphtheriae, and causes difficulty of breathing, hirap huminga, can cause heart problems, heart failure, paralysis, and can also cause death. The transmission po yung para mahawa is through body fluids or discharge po from other persons. Next is tetanus, caused by a bacteria din po is Clostridium tetani. Ang ginagawa po ng toxins ng gantong bacteria, it causes muscle contraction o tumitigas po yung mga muscles. So it's very painful and also known as lockjaw. Tumitigas po yung ating jaw. Hirap po lumunok, and then naglo-lock po yung ating neck, nag-stiff po yung mga muscles. So the transmission po nito is if ever natusok kayo ng dirty na matulis na bagay, and pag napunta po sa mga sugat niyo po or sa cuts or wounds. Next one is pertussis. It's highly contagious respiratory disease caused by a bacteria, Bordetella pertussis. So ang symptoms po nito is yung sobrang pag-ubo, yung parang violent yung pag-ubo po natin, hirap huminga. And then the transmission po nito, paano mahawa is through pag nag-cough po o nag-sneeze yung other person o yung infected person. Next one po is the HIV or Haemophilus influenzae type B. Is a gram-negative coxobacilli and it affects our upper respiratory tracts. So yung ating nose, yung throat, and it can also cause pneumonia o pulmonia and also causes meningitis, yung kanina po sa meningococcal. Yung ating balot sa brain, tumitigas po, tapos yun nga po, pag na-infect, hirap po gumalaw, yung leg, tumitigas. And the transmission po nito is through droplets o yung kung nag-sneeze and nag-cough din po yung other person na infected. Next one is pneumococcal. It's caused by a bacteria, Streptococcus pneumoniae. Causes ear infection naman po, sinus infection, can also cause pneumonia and blood infections. So the transmission is through direct contact with the secretions po, saliva or mucus. So through coughing po, sneezing ng other person. And the last one po is poliovirus. It is an enterovirus C. It can cause nerve damage. So pag po na damage na yung nerve o yung ating ugat, hindi na po gumagalaw yung certain part ng body niyo. So nagkakaroon po ng paralysis. So as you can see, the persons who are not vaccinated with poliovirus, na nagkaroon po ng polio, minsan po maliit po yung isang part na nila, yung paa, kasi nga po hindi na po nila magamit, na-damage na po yung ugat o yung nerve. It can also cause difficulty of breathing nung unang times, dati po, minsan nilalagay po sa isang machine yung mga tao pag infected with polio dahil they cannot breathe on their own. So the transmission is through direct contact with the person who is infected. So as you can see, marami pong mga pwedeng sakit na pwedeng ma-prevent ng ating vaccines. So ang dami po nun, some of which if malala po yung pagkakahawa nyo, pwede pong mag-lead to organ failure or death. So, it is prudent or important po na magkaroon po na ma-vaccinan po tayo to help prevent po yung mga ganung diseases. So, kung i-compare nyo po yung magiging side effects po ng immunization versus do sa mga sakit na pwede nyo makuha, ito po yung mga immunization side effects natin. So, piling ko mas gugustuhin niyo naman po itong mga gantong side effects compared nagkaroon kayo ng disease na pwedeng lumala. So, mostly mild side effects lang naman po yung mga reactions sa immunization. So, sa puncture site ko, kung saan tinusok yung ating vaccine, can cause pain, swelling, or redness where the shot was given. It can last for about 1 to 2 days and eventually mawala naman po yung pain. Kung if ever hindi naman po mawala, we can consult a doctor or we can drink pain medications or pain relief medications such as yung mga celecoxib natin or paracetamol. It can also lead to mild fever. So kung na-infect ka ng mga bacteria or virus ito, sometimes high-grade fever, matagal na fever, and for immunization lang naman po is mild fever lang. Then, feeling of tiredness, may headache, may can also show muscle and joint aches, soreness or redness around the injection site, and low-grade fever. These are all the effects po immunization, and we can say na pag po nagkaroon kayo ng ganitong mga effect, nag-work po yung vaccine natin. Kasi yung immune po natin, we're trying to fight off yung binigay na vaccine. Which is also, explain po natin later na pwedeng part siya or pwedeng siya mismo yung virus na pinahina or pinatay. So, binigay siya sa inyo, inattack siya ng ating mga immune responses, and with that, nakatulong po siya dahil nakilala na po siya ng ating katawan. Next slide, please. Pakibalik po. So, importance of immunization, it saves the lives and protects every person as well as their family and community. So, immunization helps protect future generation by eliminating diseases. Also, if immunized po yung mother, minsan, most of the time na natatransfer po sa baby yung ating mga antibodies na it can help to fight off the diseases. There are various infectious diseases that are unusual or eliminating now as outcome of immunization program. So, yung meron po tayong isang sakit before, very deadly, and wala po siyang gamot. Pero with the help of vaccine, na-eradicate po yung sakit na to, yung tinatawag na smallpox. Very deadly po to nung time na yun, nung very, pa siya, nung endemic pa siya. Naging pandemic din po. So, with the help of the vaccine, nakatulong po to no, matapos na yung sakit na yun. Hopefully, for other viruses po, if ever mabaksinan na po almost all persons in the world, pwede na pong hindi na po maulit yung ganong disease or ganong virus. So, but new contagious diseases are emerging around the world. So, the WHO is continually experimenting, doing scientific research, nakagawa po ng bagong vaccines for the new contagious diseases. So, vaccines are the most effective to avoid infectious diseases. It is successfully done depends on the collaboration of every individual. So, dapat po, lahat po tayo, mag-work lang po yung vaccine. If ever, almost all or 70 to 100% of people in the world is vaccinated. Kasi, hindi na po matatransfer yung disease. And eventually, gagaling na lang po yung mga taong nagkaroon ng disease ito at di na nila matatransfer to other persons. Next slide, please. So, vaccine protects different diseases. Ayan, cervical cancer is caused by a virus, which is the human papilloma virus. And we have a vaccine for that, the HPV vaccine. We have two, the Gardasil and the Cervarix. So, yung Gardasil po maganda rin kasi 4 types of HPV ang kanyang biniprevent. And the Cervarix is 2 types of HPV virus. Next po is cholera. Cholera na po is also being prevented by vaccines po. And the others are also explained na po kanina, diphtheria, hepatitis B, influenza A. Ang Japanese encephalitis naman po is a brain virus. It causes fever, and dahil na damage po yung brain, they can cause inability to speak, stiff neck, confusion, sometimes tremors o nanginginig yung mga kamay, muscle weakness. So the transmission of which, pag po kayo ay nakagat ng mosquito na nakuha ng mosquito from the pigs and birds. So yung virus napunta from the animals, then na-transfer siya sa tao. Just like malaria or dengue. So next one, measles, na explain na po, meningitis, mumps, pertussis, pneumonia, polio, the rabies coming from the mammals naman po which are infected, especially dogs. And rabies po, these are virus po coming from the Rhabdoviridae family and can affect the brain. So, the transmission po, if ever na kagat po kayo or na-bite po kayo ng infected mammal or animal. Then, the rotavirus, rubella, tetanus, typhoid. Ang typhoid naman po is caused by bacteria Salmonella typhi. And the symptoms po is high-grade fever, may headache, general aches, and pains, tapos po panghihina, cough, and constipation. Pero eventually, pag po tumagal yung sakit, nagkakaroon po ng tummy ache and eventually po diarrhea naman, watery diarrhea, very watery po siya. So the transmission of which is through contaminated water and food. Kung yung nag-prepare po ng food, hindi po naghugas ng kamay, galing po siya CR na infect po yung food natin. Next one po is varicella naman po, yung tinatawag nating chickenpox. After the infection po, initial infection ng chickenpox, nagsistay po siya sa nerves and can lead to herpes zoster naman pag po tumagal. Pag humina po yung immune system natin, nare-reactivate po yung virus. So, nagkakaroon po siya ng parang chickenpox-like symptoms pero one area lang po. Pero sobrang sakit po na. So, the transmission po is direct contact po with the person na may varicella or chickenpox. Yun po yung transmission. The next one po is yellow fever, just like po ng Japanese encephalitis. It is caused by mosquito bites, and it is caused by a virus. And the symptoms is fever, chills, headache, backache, and muscle aches. And can also lead to organ failure, shock, and death. So marami po tayong mga sakit na pwedeng ma-prevent po ng ating mga vaccines if we commit na magpa-vaccine po tayo. So global vaccination coverage, around 83% of infants are vaccinated with 3 doses of DTP, diphtheria, tetanus, and pertussis containing vaccine in 2020. 13% estimated global coverage, medyo mababa pa po to for our female or na pwede mabigyan ng HPV vaccine that can prevent cervical cancer. So, medyo mababa po yung ating global coverage, 13%. And also, 17 million of children missed out on life-saving measles, diphtheria, and tetanus vaccine in 2020. Yeah po. So, WHO Global Vaccine Action Plan for 2011 to 2021 helps all countries to commit to immunization as a priority, which means WHO works with them to set national targets and plans, as well as allocate adequate financial and human resources. Supports individuals and communities to understand the value of vaccines and demand immunization as both their right and responsibility. So, the WHO na po yung mismong gumagawa ng way to help promote vaccination around the world. So, develops plans and materials to ensure every person is reached with vaccines, strengthens immunization systems so that it can serve as platform for delivering other health intervention. So, works to increase funding for immunization and ensure safe and reliable vaccine supply system, and develop targeted research and development innovation for new and improved vaccines. So, yung WHO na po, they are working to have a coverage po, mabigyan po lahat ng tao na mabigyan ng vaccine. So, it is our job or our duty na po na we should comply with their vaccination programs, and in result, it can help us fight off diseases. Next slide. So, ito lang po yung kanina din, percentage of children who receive DTP worldwide. 83%, medyo mataas po yung coverage natin na nabigyan na po ng DTP yung mga children. And so, for the HPV, medyo mababa pa po. So, more on this to work on. And 17 million children miss out on life-saving measles, diphtheria, and tetanus vaccines. Marami pa pong work to do. So, duty na po ng each and every person to have their vaccines po. And it can help and save a lot of person. So, this is a short video po of how the vaccines work. So, mamaya after po ng video, i-explain po natin more.
In 1796, the scientist Edward Jenner injected material from a cowpox virus into an 8-year-old boy, with a hunch that this would provide the protection needed to save people from deadly outbreaks of the related smallpox virus. It was a success. The 8-year-old was inoculated against the disease, and this became the first ever vaccine. But why did it work? To understand how vaccines function, we need to know how the immune system defends us against contagious diseases in the first place. When foreign microbes invade us, the immune system triggers a series of responses in an attempt to identify and remove them from our bodies. The signs that this immune response is working are the coughing, sneezing, inflammation, and fever we experience, which work to trap, deter, and rid the body of threatening things like bacteria. These innate immune responses also trigger our second line of defense, called adaptive immunity. Special cells called B cells and T cells are recruited to fight microbes and also record information about them, creating a memory of what the invaders look like and how best to fight them. This know-how becomes handy if the same pathogen invades the body again. But despite this smart response, there's still a risk involved. The body takes time to learn how to respond to pathogens and to build up these defenses. And even then, if a body is too weak or young to fight back when it's invaded, it might face very serious risk if the pathogen is particularly severe. But what if we could prepare the body's immune response, readying it before someone even got ill? This is where vaccines come in. Using the same principles that the body uses to defend itself, scientists use vaccines to trigger the body's adaptive immune system without exposing humans to the full strength disease. This has resulted in many vaccines, which each work uniquely, separated into many different types. First, we have live attenuated vaccines. These are made of the pathogen itself, but a much weaker and tamer version. Next, we have inactive vaccines, in which the pathogens have been killed. The weakening and inactivation in both types of vaccine ensures that pathogens don't develop into the full-blown disease. But just like a disease, they trigger an immune response, teaching the body to recognize an attack by making a profile of pathogens in preparation. The downside is that live attenuated vaccines can be difficult to make, and because they're live and quite powerful, people with weaker immune systems can't have them, while inactive vaccines don't create long-lasting immunity. Another type, the subunit vaccine, is only made from one part of the pathogen, called an antigen, the ingredient that actually triggers the immune response. By even further isolating specific components of antigens, like proteins or polysaccharides, these vaccines can prompt specific responses. Scientists are now building a whole new range of vaccines called DNA vaccines. For this variety, they isolate the very genes that make the specific antigens the body needs to trigger its immune response to specific pathogens. When injected into the human body, those genes instruct cells in the body to make the antigens. This causes a stronger immune response and prepares the body for any future threats. And because the vaccine only includes specific genetic material, it doesn't contain any other ingredients from the rest of the pathogen that could develop into the disease and harm the patient. If these vaccines become a success, we might be able to build more effective treatments for invasive pathogens in years to come. Just like Edward Jenner's amazing discovery spurred on modern medicine all those decades ago, continuing the development of vaccines might even allow us to treat diseases like HIV, malaria, or Ebola one day.
Yeah. So, it's a very informative video po. Explaining our vaccine. So, explain po natin more further. So, there are two main types of vaccine. The live attenuated vaccine. They contain po yung pong vaccine na yun, they contain the actual bacteria or the virus. pero they are weakened or pinahina na po sila. So that they create a protective immune response but do not cause disease in the healthy people. So, hindi na po siya active yung cell na yon o yung bacteria or the virus na yun to cause a disease sa katawan. However, dahil inintroduce po siya sa body, lahat po kasi nang ini-introduce sa body na hindi po siya part ng body natin, nare-recognize po siya ng ating katawan na outsider. So, our white cells o yung ating immune system, they will act on them, then producing an immune response or pina-fight off po nila to. So, at the same time, nagkakaroon po ng production ng mga antibodies. So, explain po natin later. Then, inactive vaccines contain whole bacteria or virus which have been killed or small parts or of bacteria or viruses such as proteins or sugars which cannot cause a disease. So, other types of vaccines naman po, pinatay na po talaga yung actual bacteria and or may certain part lang po ng katawan ng bacteria, sa katawan po ng tao, pinutol lang po yung kamay, kasi yun po yung in-introduce sa body. Tapos, nakita po siya ng body na outsider, nagkaroon po ng immune response, certain reactions, nagkaroon po ng antibody production. So, for inactive vaccines, medyo mahina po yung actual immune response natin comparing to the live attenuated vaccines. So, there are a lot of types of vaccines. So, we should know kung ano po yung nabibigay sa atin, hindi po yung marami na po kasi na po-produce na vaccines ngayon. So, we should also look at kung anong vaccine po yung tinuturo sa atin. Next slide po. So, different types of inactive vaccines. Whole-killed vaccines. So, the whole-killed vaccines are bacteria or virus that are killed. They are killed na po. So, hindi na po sila magkakos ng disease. However, they produce weaker immune response compared sa mga live attenuated or yung mga pinahina lang. So, the kinds po na ating whole-kill vaccines are the hepatitis A, flu shots, polio, and rabies po. The difference po for live attenuated, we cannot give po kasi yung mga weakened viruses or weakened bacteria to persons na meron pong problem sa immune system or meron siyang prior disease. Kuwari, may ongoing po na sakit, may ongoing po na lagnat, tapos bibigyan po ng live attenuated. Pwede pong hindi niya ma-fight off yung vaccine, pwede pong mag-cause ng disease. Also, for persons na magkaroon po ng AIDS na tinatawag, yung acquired immunity deficiency syndrome, which is caused by the HIV, mahina po yung immune system ng tao na yun. So, if given with the live attenuated or yung weakened, pwede pong hindi po niya ma-fight off yung mismong disease, pwede pong ma-reactivate. So, we can give po the whole-killed vaccines for these kinds of persons. The subunit vaccine naman, a cellular, so certain parts lang of fragments as we see in the video. So, may part lang po dan na parang yun yung pinaka nagkukos ng disease. At yun lang po yung ibibigay sa katawan. Dahil hindi naman po kompleto yung binigay na bacteria sa katawan ng tao, it will not cause a disease. Pero ma-recognize po yung part na yun na that's the pathogen o yun yung germs o yung bacteria na nag-cause ng disease. So, if ever magkaroon ko po ng infection na ganong virus or bacteria, madali na po siya makikilala ng ating katawan. So, the toxoid vaccine naman po, yung toxin ng mismong pathogen or mismong virus or bacteria yung in-introduce sa katawan and it can cause immune responses. The conjugate naman po are weak antigen combined with a strong antigen and can lead to stronger immune response po. So, next one is recombinant. This involves in DNA encoding ng antigen such as bacteria surface protein can stimulate immune response into bacterial or mammalian cells. So, expressing the antigen in the cells and then purifying it for them. So, may technology na po na ginagamit dito, hindi yung mismong bacteria lang, nagkakaroon na po ng technological advancement. So, there's are the types of vaccines po na pwede natin makuha. So, next slide, please. So we have passive and active immunization. So first sa active immunization or vaccination. So binibigyan po tayo ng vaccine, which kung nasan po yung merong weakened bacteria or weakened virus. Pag na-introduce po sa katawan, nagkakaroon po ng immune response, nakikilala ng katawan yung bacteria na yon at ng virus na yon. And then eventually, pag na-introduce po ulit sa atin yung ganong virus or bacteria, madali na po siyang matalo. However, for passive immunization naman po, for persons na hindi po pwedeng bigyan ng vaccination, pwede pong bigyan ng passive immunization. It's a direct introduction of these elements. So, meron po tayong ginagawa na meron pong experiments na sa other mammals po ginagamit yung vaccine, and then pag nag-produce po ng antibodies, yun po yung nai-introduce sa tao. Yung IVIG na tinatawag, intravenous immunoglobulin. So, pwede rin po itong other way of immunization. Next po. So, ito na po yung parts ng ating immune system o yung ating white blood cells. So, we have the T cells, the B cells, the antibodies, and the memory B cells and memory T cells. So, once po na pumasok yung virus sa katawan po natin, they are being acted upon our T cells or yung killer T cells natin. Pinapatay po nila, kinakain po nila sa cell nila, then pinapatay po nila sa loob ng cell, then they are showing po ng parts ng virus or ng bacteria sa labas nila. So, mag-interact po sila sa B cells. Yung B cells po na yun, makikilala niya po yung virus at yung bacteria na yun, at nagpuproduce na po yung B cells natin, yung ating memory B cells, ng antibodies. So, yung antibodies na tinatawag po natin ay produced by the B cells. And these are proteins po na meron po silang genetic coding na kilala na nila yung certain virus or certain bacteria. So, umiikot po yan sa katawan natin. Once na mapasok po sa katawan po natin yung bacteria or virus, madali na po sila mag-attach at makikilala na po sila. Parang kilala na agad yung virus na yun o yung bacteria. So, madali siyang fight off. Imbis na pumasok na yung virus sa cell, magparami, mag-cause po ng disease. So, bago pa niya magawa yun, pagpasok niya pa lang sa katawan, kilala na siya agad. So, yun po yung kinakaganda ng antibodies natin. So, if ever, yun po yung one way to produce antibodies kung na-infect ka po at nagkaroon ka ng disease. So, preventing the disease naman po, pwedeng vaccination na lang yung gawin natin. So, with the vaccination, weakened or mahina po yung virus or na bacteria na inintroduce sa katawan, nag-cause po ng immune response, nakilala ng T cells, B cells, nag-produce po ng antibodies. Ayun po, nagkaroon po tayo ng antibodies without having the disease. So, maganda po siya compared magka-disease ka. So, to prevent the disease, we need to have vaccination po. So, ito lang po yung pinaka-main point po ng part niya. So, just 10 countries accounts for 62% of unprotected children. Sa India lang po yung 95%. The Philippines, long way to go po. So, less than 60%. So, we are trying to target at least more than 70% ang mavaccinate po sa atin. Especially for the current situation in the world po, yung ating COVID virus. COVID disease. So, currently po sa COVID, our vaccination is around 61.2% of our population na vaccinate na po. And then, yung mga fully vaccinated around 66 million persons. So, the target is around 70 to 100% po. So, as to help na hindi na po maging transmissible yung COVID virus. Ayan po, same data. So, currently, total cases po in 3.6 million, 59,000 deaths. And people who are fully vaccinated, around 66 million, which is around 61.2% po ng total population natin. And the current total doses given from the first dose, second dose, and the booster, around 148 million na po yung nabigay. So we are still experiencing the scare of the coronavirus, which is the COVID. Different vaccine brands arrived in the Philippines and millions of Filipinos have their vaccination jab, which can help to reduce the risk caused by the virus. In this way, we continue to strengthen our immune system. So, once na vaccinated po yung tao, the transmission po ng virus will be lessened, and wala na pong pwedeng mabagong ma-infect. So eventually magda-die down na lang po yung virus. Hopefully ma-eradicate na po yung actual virus and hindi na po siya mag-spread to other persons and to other countries. Next slide. So how can our products help with our immune system? So they say na with our supplements, it can help our immune system. Pero the actual way of helping them is pinapalakas lang po natin yung immune system natin. However, we still need the vaccine po to help produce po yung antibodies. Pero with our supplements, it can help na yung body natin makapag-produce po sila ng antibodies kasi it can give us nutrition, proteins, or other polysaccharides that can help us produce the antibodies. So, kung nabaksinan ka man at medyo weak yung immune system mo, pwedeng kung live attenuated lang siya or yung pinahinang virus, pwedeng magkaroon ng disease. So, kung magpa-vaccine po kayo and with proper nutrition and proper supplementation, mag-work po siya side by side. May synergy po yung effect. So, these are supplements po from our company, the ratio ganocilium, ratio mushroom powder, black cumin plus cordyceps, and roselle juice and tablet po. So next slide. So Ganoderma is the king of herbs, known as the king of herbs for its precious medicinal uses. For more than 2,000 years na po siya nagagamit. So very, na po siya, subok na po. So China, Ganoderma is listed in the American Herbal Pharmacopoeia and Therapeutic Compendium. The major elements include polysaccharide, adenosine, and triterpenoids, so it can help their immune system, each having their own exceptional medicinal values. A kind of mushroom used by the Chinese, Japanese, Taiwanese, and Koreans for centuries to promote longevity, stamina, and health. So our Ganoder in the Lingzi, called in Chinese, the Reishi in Japanese, and Kabote in Filipinos. So it has 400 active elements. So from the mushroom, these are main products for the RG and GL, and they work side by side. The ratio gano, a 90-old red mushroom, and the ganocilium, 40-day-old mycelium of Ganoderma lucidum. So the RG is doing po nag-detoxify, and then the ganocilium is balances our body. So another one is the reishi mushroom, is the combination naman po ng essence of the RG and GL. So pinagsama na po siya. So naka-powder form po siya because pag powdered na po, mas madali na po siyang ma-absorb ng ating katawan. So cordyceps naman po is sinensis, one of the most valued Chinese herbs. It's found naturally in the highlands of China, Tibet, and Nepal. And cordyceps po might improve immunity by stimulating the cells and specific chemicals in the immune system. It may also help fight cancer cells, shrink tumor size, particularly with lung or skin cancers. So these are natural way of fighting diseases. So the rare combination of caterpillar and fungus, based on studies, cordyceps helps strengthen immunity, increase your energy, endurance, and vitality, thus improving your daily performance. Next slide. So DXN cordyceps, ito na po yung ating mga tablet form, is made from high-quality strain of Cordyceps sinensis without any preservatives and easily absorbed by the body. Technological advances in DXN research and development team has successfully led to the production of DXN cordyceps in 2 different packaging. It is made from pure and carefully selected species of DXN cordyceps, which has been cultivated under stringent quality control and testing from cultivation to finished good. So, na po tayo from the raw materials to the product. Tayo na po yung mismo, hindi na po tayo nag-outsource ng other products natin, ng production ng products natin. Next slide. So, black cumin naman po. Black cumin, it helps sa immune system natin through immune modulation. The Nigella sativa has been used for medicinal purposes for centuries. The components of these are known as for its intense immune regulatory, anti-inflammatory, and antioxidant benefits in obstructive respiratory diseases. So black cumin seed attributes to the support and the body in its own natural healing process. It has also been used for a variety of conditions such as respiratory health, kidney and liver function, circulatory and immune system support, and to improve general health. So black cumin is also known as the Habatul Baraka, the seed of blessing, originates and is widely used people in the Middle East, ancient Egypt, and India, especially formulated for selected quality of black cumin. So added with clove and black pepper to enhance its benefits and contains no artificial ingredients. So maganda po yan. Wala po tayong mga preservatives sa ating mga products. So, DXN black cumin. Next one is yung ating natural vitamin C, the Roselle juice and tablet. So DXN Roselle tablet and juice is made from hibiscus subdarifa. So very rich po to with vitamin C. And vitamin C helps with cell productions. Also, we can also help in the production of our antibodies. So it's a flowering plant that usually grows in both tropical and subtropical regions. And no artificial flavors, preservatives, and additives added. So again, as summary for what we have, I have lectured today that us protect ourselves from harmful virus by undergoing immunization and vaccination. So vaccine help save millions of lives every year. Proven na po yan, marami na po na-save ang ating vaccine. Especially nung mga later ages or mga nung sinaunang panahon na na-eradicate nga po yung isang kind of virus. Hindi na po siya naging transmissible or hindi na siya na-transfer to other persons. And let us maintain a healthy immunity to fight against diseases. So, we supplement with our, so every day we eat. Hindi na po natin nakukuha lahat ng nutrition na nakain natin. Hindi po tayo nakapag-balanced diet. So, we supplement with our supplements in our company. So that's all. Thank you very much. So good morning po again to our partners.
Make sure you find the time and spend some money for your health before it is too late. DXN products help your body to maintain optimal health. Give them a try, and you will feel the benefits of DXN products in a more natural way. Thank you for spending your time with us.